Greetings, 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 everyone, and folks, and for those who are new, I welcome you too. So, there has been a lot going on, and not so much of a lot going on. I've been dealing with a creative block, or just a creative block. I'm just going to put it that way. But I wanted to get into this topic because a lot of my teachings, well, mostly all of my teachings, is based on healing and taking responsibility for your own healing and your own life, and putting you first. And I'll just jump right into this. And I didn't even ask y'all to click down below to subscribe. If this information or content interests you, you are welcome to share it, comment. You know, it's welcome. All of that is welcome. But I want to speak on the topic of family, and maybe even some friends, maybe some foes. But just as human beings, we're not all perfect. And sometimes it takes other people within family to read you. And I'll be that one. I got read recently. So I can, and I was a little bit defensive. But I also really listen most of the time just to reflect. Now, even though they read me, these are just some things I've already started to see about myself through reflection. But also, I could see also through the manipulation, because sometimes we have to read another person just so that we can get what we want. I said sometimes. Okay, if y'all hear that playing, please excuse it. Okay. It's almost gone. But yeah, sometimes people read you because they want something from you, or they're just tired of some things that you do, especially if it's affecting them in a negative way. And I want to be careful when I say that, because sometimes what we think is negative or negativity being done to us is not necessarily negativity. Sometimes, as I stated earlier, it may just be that we're not getting what we want. Now, I also want to explain you to this. And I know we've been influenced and taught to think a certain way, but have you ever really thought about how you truly felt? And you've gotten those feelings on how you truly felt. You probably ignored it because you just went along with the majority. And just because the majority agrees on one thing doesn't necessarily mean you agree on it. Just because you disagree does not make you a bad person. You just realize some things within yourself that you do not want to follow the pack. And that's okay. I've been called selfish. I agree. I am selfish. I've learned that I had to be selfish. Not to a great extent, but to an extent when I see that even family can disappoint you. And sometimes you have to set up boundaries and become selfish, meaning think about yourself. It doesn't mean stop being considerate. You know, I can consider you. Yeah, there's a consideration there in my thoughts. I'm going to be cordial and respectful, but I'm going to think about myself. You know, people tend not to understand that parable when it says, before I can take the splinter out of your eye, I have to take the splinter out of my eye first. So I'm going to do something for you and it's not done for me. And I've been told that I never have done this or that. Never. But again, it allows me to reflect on being said. Pay attention. It doesn't mean that when I walk away from situations like this, that I'm copping out. It means that this is a whole lot of drama being thrown my way that I don't want to deal with at this moment. So what I'll do is, if this drama is coming at me at a time when I have other things of more importance to be concerned about, and I know you may say, well, what is more important than family? Myself. I have to be in my right mind. And a lot of you may not agree, and that's okay. And the reason why I may not agree with you is because they are these are my ways of having to cope with things. You have your ways. People are so quick to point the finger and say what you're doing bad and blame you, you know? Now, when you become an adult in the family, you're an adult. And we're so in the habit of wanting to lean on someone in the family, most of all, the parent. Hear me out now. Hear me out. And for the most part, when it's a single parent household, that single parent is always one to be blamed. There's no one else to blame but you, because you're the only one there. You're the only one pissing me off. You're the only one I can yell at because the other person isn't there. I'm going to tell you, and you may not agree, you may agree, but I say before you disagree, expand your mind a little and take it in. You can love someone or some people, some things, some places. But don't be afraid to let it go so you can let it grow. Because even though they may be having their issues with you, my youngest daughter used to tell me, she's told me on a couple of occasions, you never know what a person's going through, what they've been through. And sometimes you have those family members who don't care what you're going through, who don't care where you've been through, who don't understand, even though you have given them your apologies. But what we have to understand about each individual is we don't change overnight. 50 years of habits isn't a habit that can be broken overnight, in a day, in a week, in a month. It depends on the person. Some people, it may take years. Some people just never change. And you have to be willing to accept that and find other avenues to cope in your life when you're not getting what you want out of them. Find other avenues. I know this might be a hard pill to swallow, especially if you want and trying to force something out of a parent, a sibling, another family member. Whereas you got to learn that you can't make someone do what you want because of what you want. Everyone is different. And I'm going to say that over and over again. I get what you're saying. I get it. But don't think you can manipulate me and make me do something because you get tired of doing it and you want it done when you want it done. Because you operate at a fast pace. Then if you operate at a fast pace, find somebody else who can operate at that pace with you. One thing we don't realize as human beings in this lesson of life is that that's what we're here for, is to get the lesson. We're not supposed to become too attached anyway. This is why life throws at you family members who will stab you in the back. People, family members you feel you can't trust. Now, if you have a family member who hasn't done anything to that degree, but it's just little petty thing as, well, you didn't do this for me, you didn't do that for me, get over it. Someone recently told me, parents aren't in your life to make your life comfortable. That is so true. I mean, I wasn't raised by my parents, I was raised by grandparents. And a lot of y'all think, oh, grandparents aren't how they used to be. Why aren't they how they used to be? Because when you want them to do something, take care of your children, they're not there to take care of your children. When that's your responsibility, really it is up to the grandparent to step in when they want to step in. And they do their best to help. And yeah, you can complain about the past, but why do we keep having to live in the past? It's neither here nor there in the future. The past is the past. And if you can't accept the apologies and be forgiving of the past, then that's where you're going to be stuck. Because I'm going to tell you, I'm not one to stay in the past. I don't live in the past. And once we have to understand, family members, that when you become a certain age and you call yourself moving like an adult, then guess what? The parent is not obligated to take care of you. They step in and help because they want to. And something I peep with people. People will intentionally strategize and plan to do things for you in hopes that when they need you, you're going to be there to help them. Well, boo-boo, if you're not doing it from your heart and not strategizing and planning in hopes that one day something will be returned, you're going to be saddened, because a lot of people are not going to respond just because you do something for them. The question is going to be like, well, did I ask you to do this for me? So are you not doing it from the kindness of your heart? And if you keep doing things for people and they're not asking you to do it, and you keep getting let down, then that's your problem. Not the person you're doing it for. So maybe you need to re-strategize and sit for a moment and really decide, let me just do this for me. Let me do something for someone when I know I really want to do it for them, with not looking for anything back. Because it's not sincere. That lets me know what you're up to. And I'm telling you, you have people out here who have been through the high times, the low times, the street times, the book times, and school times, as well as work time. Meaning we've seen all the BS. And I don't care if you don't like how I move. That's what makes me different, is how I move. I connect with those who connect with me. And if it's family that doesn't feel connected to me and don't like how I do things, that's why you're an adult. That's why you live where you live, over there, and I live over here. It's not about dividing and separating within the family, but families still need to understand respect of the next individual that's not like you. We got to stop thinking we can make someone like us and bow down to our commands. Yeah, it's in our human nature at some point when we get to a certain age or a certain level of awareness where we want some type of control. I'm gonna tell you something, and this is something I've always told myself: the best control is the control of self. Control those emotions so that you don't always have to feel some type of way when things don't go your way. And what you perceive to believe may not always be that type of perception that you're believing. Sometimes belief is just a way of lying to yourself. You have to also consider what's logical, what's practical, and go back and re-strategize and plan and organize how to manifest it in a way that is beneficial not only for yourself, but even others, if you want it to be that way. So if it's able to benefit you, then there are some people who are out there similar that can connect with you, that it will benefit for. But you can't force feed no animal. You can't force feed no person, no one. And just because someone does not bend to your instructions or your commands doesn't mean they don't love you. And just because things happen a certain way for me and it's not happening for you, and because someone did something for me and it's not being done for you, does not necessarily mean it's got to get done that way from the person you're requesting it. It's like I said, just because someone isn't doing something for you when you want it done, doesn't mean in their heart they don't want to do it. It just means they can't do it at that time because you don't know what they're going through. And if they can't ever do it for a long period of time, maybe for some years, and one day they're able to do it, then let them do it their way. It's like And it's not to say that you're begging a homeless man to come up out of his pocket $50 when he don't have it to give. Just because you've been giving them dollars and dollars and dollars, you might think in your head, he's saving it. No, the homeless man is probably using that to get him something to eat. And if he did save it up, he probably saved it up to probably get him a hotel. Who knows? You don't know what goes on in an individual. Why disrupt somebody's day because your day isn't going well? Or because somebody done whispered in your ear how their life isn't going the way they want it to go, so you want to defend them. And what's wrong with helping strangers? Sometimes we help them a lot. Sometimes strangers will be there before your family. And those strangers might be your true spirit family. You can relate to strangers than you can your own family. And no matter if you feel rejected, you don't know if the person you're confronting have ever felt rejected. I'm looking down at my notes. So as I always say, I always take notes. So if you see me looking down, that's what I'm looking at. So I want to also speak on situations when it comes to family in a household. And there's times in people's lives where their family experience not having things. And I'm speaking from experience. Of course, when I come to you, I'm bringing my own experiences. But what you have to understand, if you grew up in a household where they didn't have anything, or they're living from check to check, and they're barely making it, and even if they let strangers in to live with them, and you think your parents are helping the stranger, how you not know? Because you're a child, you don't know everything that's going on and what has been said. How you know they're not helping by paying a portion of the rent so that they can be able to put a little more food on the table? Because, growing up, food might be low, but we might be hungry, and we still gonna keep sneaking in the refrigerator when mama and daddy, or mama or daddy, whoever the single parent or parents are in the household, guardian, adopted parents, whatever. And they say, okay, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Breakfast, you can get your own. Lunch and dinner will be prepared. But don't go eating all the food, because I don't have money where I can walk out to a tree and pick it off and just go to the store every time food gets low in the house. And you complain about not being able to eat. Oh, mama ate food in front of me and I was hungry. But all along, throughout the day while mama was at work, you and the siblings or the children was raiding the refrigerator. Mama come home, or daddy come home, or mama and daddy come home, or whoever is your guardian comes home, and there's nothing in the kitchen to eat. A little something, but something of nothing. And they go out and buy them something to eat. And by this time they get back with their food, you upset because you're not eating. and you've been forewarned. So, there's a thing, and I'm saying all of this because when we grow up, we always want to point the finger at the parent or parents because life didn't go the way we wanted to go. And they complain, oh, mama let us starve, or mom didn't buy us this, and mom didn't buy us that. But my thing is, are you still living? You're grown now with your own life. And all that mama and daddy couldn't provide was probably an experience needed for you to get to the next level in your life. It also shows how ungrateful you are. Not taking into consideration that not every family is fortunate. And blaming the person who took care of you because you didn't have a certain type of life, or they may not have a certain type of life. Just going through life being ungrateful because you can't get what you want when you want it because it's not coming fast enough. Sometimes life throws at us curveballs for our own lessons. And as I stated earlier, that life wasn't meant to be comfortable. And if you find somebody who's comfortable now, you don't know what they've been through to get to that comfort. And who's to say they're going to always be comfortable and that they're always comfortable? I tell you, there's so much in life there is to be learned and that needs to be learned and paid attention to. I may not sound right, but think about it. Replay this video, slow it down, pause it, and reflect and think that through. Because sometimes it will be your own children that'll try to make an ass out of you, that will try to embarrass you. And y'all know, a lot of you parents know, they start at a very young age. And if you don't do something about it then, and you keep allowing it to continue, they will try to make an ass out of you when they become adults. But something to always remember, parents. Remember, you're not obligated. So even if they're trying to make an ass out of you, in the end, they come to embarrass themselves. And hopefully, as parents, you'll come to realize, or will come to realize and hope that they get the lessons, that they're waking up to their own lessons. Who's to say that I've said and know everything in this world? I know what I know from what I have already experienced. I sense what I sense from what I see, hear, smell, feel, and detect upon research, reflection, introspection, retrospection. I don't claim to be perfect. Of course, I always am working to better myself each and every day. I have flaws, and trust. A lot of this conversation that I've just had have already exposed myself. I'm not going to go into details because I don't believe in putting personal business out there when whatever I'm dealing with, I can work on it myself. But these are things I have been through, am going through, having to take some time and sit back, reflect. And this is the conclusion I have come to. With this conclusion may open up another chapter. For what is in my future, I know not. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. All I can live to be in is right now. I can be in the present, right now, the now. I do my best to hold myself accountable for my own actions. I do my best, and hopefully you do your best. We're all in this to learn lessons. Once the lessons is learned, move on. And don't try to allow those to hold you back. Because change is constant. And even when the seasons change, doesn't mean you're ready for that season, but slowly but surely you move into it. There are those who change with the season, who deal with the changes as they come. We're all different. We all deal with it differently. Excuses, some excuses are acceptable, are necessary. Because like I said, we don't know what a person is going through. I advise, or let me just say, I don't advise. Let me just say, in my life, I pay attention to subtle signs. Sometimes those signs, I'm looking at the individual and I'm paying attention to the body signs. You know, to the body. I'm hearing some of the signs. I even pay attention to nature. Because nature gives us signs, especially when we deal with personal things, family things, situational things, situationships. We're given signs. Sometimes we're not aware of them because if you don't take time out to reflect and think about how you gave your input into something, how could you have made this right? Because we tend to not look at ourselves when we do wrong. Yes, I have done some wrong. Some wrongs are so subtle that I don't even recognize it because of the way I was brought up. And you get these subtle signs of awakening towards things you went through that is now time to change. And when you recognize it's time to change again, you can only make that change accordingly within your own time and at your own speed and pace. Just be willing to make the change. Because life flows better and peacefully in harmony when you acknowledge that change and actually put in the action to change it. Now, just because someone else don't see the change does not necessarily mean there's no change taking place. Sometimes change takes place internally before you ever see them. And this is something I have to remember. With all of this comes patience, acceptance of things you cannot change. You can change yourself, and not everything about you may be able to change. But you also be willing to accept others' differences. Those are things you cannot change. You can't change another person no matter how much you want to, and you try to force it on another person. This is why I advise you, especially going into relationships, situationships, fellowships, get to know people and see how you connect. Before you take it long term. Because as I've been told, some people come in your life for a reason, and some of them just for a season. But you really got to be patient with yourself. Be willing to take accountability. But just know, at this point in time in my life, I'm not here to make you think like me. I just want you to think. Hi, my name is AnitaYarbrough, and I am your holistic healing life coach and counselor. I bring to you today my signature programs based on healing transformations that align purpose. My first signature program, self-authentication based healing. This paradigm shifting and transformative based program is designed to share life experiences due to the changing times we're in to assert your self-authenticating willpower. In this program, you will learn the importance of healing to help lead the way towards understanding a new age mindset that promotes creative holistic living for unlocking your purpose. Transform and align with your purpose in any area you choose. Within these changing times, by trying a new approach to tasks and or activities to gain courage and confidence. Feel free to accept the changes in the world and experience the new, real you without judgment from yourself and others. Learn to accept uncontrollable circumstances. Let go of the past and activate a new you. Overcome blockages on your way towards your newfound freedom after attending this life-changing presentation. After this program, you will be able to learn the difference between using logic and intuition, understand how your belief systems influence your authenticity. Learn the importance of balancing your light and dark psyche. Use mental and emotional coping techniques to transcend traumas and pain to start the healing process. Gaining self-acceptance to heal through self-talk and expression. My second signature program is lifestyle-based healing. This life building and knowledge based program is designed to help you succeed in the next phase of transformational growth during these changing times to enhance your development. In this session, you will learn how to tap into your natural survival resources and following the intuitive influences that open your eyes to new pathways of living, achieve greater results, and supercharge your mission by creating a new lifestyle. You will come to understand how to discipline your body, your mind, and spirit to prepare the unexpected and expected changes in your life, inside and out. Inspire others to do the same. Become efficient and improve functionality after this enlightening presentation. After this program, you will be able to learn what your limits are towards change, learn how to replace unwanted habits with better practices, identify your stress triggers and traumas to make changes, and self-heal. Learn about inner and outside influences that affect your lifestyle. Understand how good health practices establishes great wealth to enhance a certain lifestyle. Learn the importance of your survival and creating your new life and what it takes to sustain a new lifestyle. Expose your toxicities before incorporating new lifestyle changes. Now, this third signature program is my communication-based healing. This mind enriching session will teach you how to express and communicate your thoughts and feelings. Demonstrate many ways to communicate your subconscious mind to gain control of your life. The strategies in this portion of the program will fine tune your communication skills within these changing times by using your childlike imagination to promote healing and find your confidence to better express yourself. Learn how to analyze the communication style of others, which better helps with understanding how to communicate. So after this presentation, you will be able to achieve a life of mastery that is limitless. So after this program, you will be able to learn to listen to your true voice, to break your own hypnotic spell, learn importance of self-talk, creatively express your imagination to welcome in the healing process, learn and understand different communication styles, find out how to communicate commands to your subconscious mind to create change. Now, this last signature program is community-based healing. This approach into the community dynamics during these times of change will alter your reality to identify patterns in situations and know when to seek solutions. Learn the positives and negatives of comparisons and judgments that are used within your environment or community. Learn tactics to break away from the trends within your environment and community that are presently not realized as mind control tools. Learn manifestations for your ideal environment or community, which can influence and become impressionable to others. Before this presentation ends, it will empower your every move. So after this program, you will be able to understand how to manifest your needs and wants, recognizing patterns that will create solutions for a better change, learn how to recognize individuals of bad or good influence in your space, understand how making peace with yourself can become a masterpiece for an ideal community, create better habits and practices that will help you attain the peace you so desire, and design and create a space that cannot be compared to others. I would like to thank you for taking time out in your busy day and joining me or sitting with me in learning more about my signature programs. As I always tell others, I am not here to make you think like me. I just want you to think. Again, thank you and have a great rest of your day.